And that concludes our 8th Transpacific Entrepreneurial Virtual Conference. We thank you all for participating and hope you found it practical, informative, and inspirational for your business, family office, or even personally. My name is Sophia Chan-Combrink. I am the Executive Director of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce in Hong Kong. Over the course of the 2 days, we've had the pleasure to hear some robust conversations among some very experienced entrepreneurs and subject experts. I must say that it's been a real pleasure and privilege to learn more about our Canadian business community, their practical insights and inspirational stories. There are truly some remarkable Canadian business folks, and we're glad that we've been able to provide this platform for them to tell their stories, because you know, as Canadians, we don't shout out and celebrate our achievements nearly enough. Over the 2 days and 11 panels, there were so many highlights that I'm not even going to try to cover them all, but there were some overarching themes emerging from the panels. First, it has not been easy in the last 2.5 years conducting business in Hong Kong, although there was a period in the second half of 2021 that almost seemed like we were going back to normal. However, this time around, we stand more ready for these flare-ups, and many of the speakers spoke about working in a more hybrid way by highlighting this in their HR packages to better attract talent, working creatively, such as through media partners, to compensate for in-person business development and diversifying their products and services so that when times are tough in one area, you can leverage on the others. Secondly, many of the speakers, without any solicitation, spoke positively on the help and invaluable connections that government entities like the Canadian Trade Commission, Invest Hong Kong, and the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office gave to them. Thank you to those who also mentioned the Chamber. Third, the lure of the Greater Bay Area still exists, and why not? With the GDP equal to that of Canada, that market simply cannot be ignored. But compared to previous editions of this conference, we are hearing and seeing a lot more concrete growth and expansion by our Canadian entrepreneurs to take advantage of this market. Lastly, despite the current challenges in traveling in and out of Hong Kong, this place, Hong Kong, still holds a strategic importance for those companies who are in for the long game. For those already doing business in Hong Kong, you don't need me to tell you about Hong Kong's advantages. As an important entrepot for trade between mainland China and the rest of the world, its well-placed geography to mainland China and the rest of the Asia Pacific. And as one speaker said, Hong Kong has the corporate structure of Delaware, the money of New York, and the weather of Miami. Wait a minute, those are all American references. Anyways, all joking aside, overall, I think we've achieved our objectives once again this year with this conference. That is, to share new systems, innovations, and ideas to keep us informed of the business trends and environment, and tips on how to be more agile, adaptable, and resilient, especially in this COVID world. On a final note, on behalf of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce in Hong Kong and the Hong Kong Canada Business Association, I would like to thank the wonderful panelists and moderators who spent much time in preparing to ensure that the content of each session was interesting and informative. Our silver sponsors, the Hong Kong Economic Trade Office in Toronto, Invest Alberta, and Invest Hong Kong. Supporting organizations, the Consulate General of Canada in Hong Kong and Macau, Bureau du Québec à Hong Kong, DS Avocat, Hong Kong Science and Technology Park, Macmillan, Royal Bank of Canada, and Velocity Solutions. Our media partner, SCMP Events, and all of our promotional partners, Canada-China Business Council in Canada and Beijing, the Canadian Chambers of Commerce in Macau, PRD, and Singapore, Chinese General Chamber of Commerce in Hong Kong, the Indo-Canadian Business Chamber, McGill University, Alumni UBC Hong Kong, and the University of Toronto for their support of our conference. I would like to give special thanks to Rachel Bedlington, Consul General to Hong Kong and Macau, Emily Mo, Director of Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office in Toronto, Gabrielle Chartier of Bureau of Quebec in Hong Kong, and Stephen Phillips, Director General of Investment Promotion, Invest Hong Kong, for their insightful and inspirational opening remarks. I would especially like to thank Madeleine Behan, a Can-Cham Hong Kong Governor and co-chair of the ESPC committee, for her long-standing commitment and dedication to this conference, without whom this event, her brainchild, could not have happened. And finally, you, the attendees, for participating. We value your comments and questions. We would also appreciate your feedback during our post-event follow-up. We look forward to connecting with you beyond this conference. Please do feel free to reach out to our panelists and attendees moving forward. If you're interested to be a sponsor for next year's Trans-Pacific Entrepreneurial Conference, we're interested to hearing from you. Thank you again for your participation, and we look forward to welcoming you to our networking session. See you again next year.